It is a beautiful fall morning, and I'm here with Carol Adelman from Adelman's Peonies. And Carol, you know, peonies are a great garden plant. They're simple, they're easy, and you told us something earlier today when we were talking that I did not know. You don't really ever have to divide and dig up a peony at all.
No, peonies are real happy where they are. They usually grow to a 3-foot spread and stop there and just hold it. So they aren't like Siberian iris or something that gets gigantic. They just do their thing. But if you want to share with family or friends, or if you're going to move, or there's too much shade encroaching them and you need to dig it, the fall's a good time to dig it and move it, or dig it and divide it if you'd like more of those peonies in your yard.
So now I see 3 distinct plants here. Tell me quickly what they are, and then we'll get to dividing them.
This is a bush peony introduced in 1902, Lady Alexandra Duff. And this is typically what Grandma had in her yard, something like that. This is a tree peony. It has more fibrous long roots on it. In about 1959, Mr. Ito in Japan was successful in crossing the tree peony with the bush peony, and the result is a cross of both, and it's called either an intersectional or it's called an Ito in honor of Mr. Ito, and has...
It's a bit more sturdy, isn't it, than the bush
ones? It is, and one of the reasons he wanted to do that was to bring in some new colors. We have lavenders and yellows and some really gorgeous colors, and the plants are very hardy, and they have foliage clear to the bottom. They grow a lot faster than tree peonies and make a beautiful landscape plant in the yard.
They really do. Now, the principles for all of these, once you dig them up, is the same. So you want to go out to the drip line, which is really just where the edge of the leaves are, to dig down, which is what you've done with this one.
Correct, because it has a very spreading root structure.
It does. And you've obviously washed yours very clean. These are the prettiest roots I've ever seen.
and we cut the foliage off so it doesn't get in our way, but we left the stems on to help us with moving the plant around while we're working with it. And these are the growing eyes. They made this year's stem, and the next growing eyes grew on the sides of this stem. So next year, instead of having 1 stem, you'll have 3 here. So your plant will be bigger. And so we can start by cutting some of these stems off and go in here. Usually a 3 to 5 eye division is what's called the number 1 division. And we'll see if we can get a nice one off of here for us to look at. They're kind of the texture of a carrot, so you can use a knife or a snips on it.
Or, as you said before, a bandsaw at times.
Well, that's with the tree peonies are the ones that are real woody. The bush peonies aren't quite like that. But
and again, as you said, the eyes are these little pink things that are coming out.
Right. And I kind of broke that, so this will make a nice replanter. It's got 4 nice eyes on there, so next year you should have 4 nice stems coming up. This is a cross between the tree and bush peony, and so it's just a little bit different. But what we found here is here's some stems with eyes, and here's a nice root piece right here that we should be able to detach. It's a little bit harder because it's a little more woody, like its tree peony parent.
So the stem is only 1, but the eyes are what's coming out on the stem.
The eyes will make new stems next year, so it'll have more stems. And that's the most pronounced eye, so we'll cut that off. And then we could trim this down a bit, because peonies actually are kind of strange in that they like to be cut back some when they're transplanted. If you just move them intact, that's when that you hear that they sit and sulk. But if you trim the ends of the roots and trim some of the excess things off, they're going to get to their new home, and they're going to say, I need to grow, and they'll be all ready to go.